giving an introduction.
Yes, sir. Can you start, sir?
Yeah, you can start. You can start.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. One and all present here. My name is Rubia R, and I'm the student of MBA Department Section 2. I'm so excited here today and to have the opportunity to welcome my wonderful staffs and my fellow students. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our excellent HOD, Dr. Sendamal Selvan, Department of Management. Welcome you, sir. Who made this event possible? Thank you, sir. I make my gratitude with a valuable quote. Your lecture is an occasion when your number one aim to benefit the other by John Clouds. Now I would invite our HOD to oblige us with a few words of guest speaker and today's topic. Welcome you, sir.
Uh, Thank you, thank you. Good evening to everyone. Respected principal sir, vice principal sir, colleagues, and my dear students. Feel honored to welcome you all this today's evening online guest lecture. It's our pleasure to invite our guest and also my friend. We are grateful to your valuable time that we get to share with you, sir. Thank you, sir. This is a current and emerging title for global current corporate scenario, artificial intelligence and future management. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Now I would invite Mr. Dilip Kumar, Assistant Professor of Department of Management.
Good evening to one and all who are present over here for this wonderful evening for regarding about this guest lectures. It is from Bhaskaran sirs. It is from regarding about topic about like artificial intelligence and the future management. It was a great pleasure for accepting to listen your session, and thanks for accepting our session, sir, for presenting over here, sir. It was a nice pleasure to see you, and we are waiting for your presentation, sir.
Sure, sure.
Sure.
But,
Yes,
Now
you
I
can.
now I would like to call Sri Lakshmi to invite our guest speaker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sri Lakshmi from Second Year MBA Department Section 2. I am thankful for giving me this opportunity to invite our Chief Guest Speaker, Mr. Bhaskar Rangayan, founder and CEO Siddha Intelligence Private Limited, based on India, US, and Canada, who is also IIMB alumni. He served top 30 airlines and airports in previous 2 decades across the globe. He started his own SaaS-based company in 2019 offering solutions using AI, IoT, and data science technologies. He is seasoned speaker across the formats including NASCOM, CIL, and International Technology Forums, received several rewards during his career, and delivered more than 1,000 plus global projects across industries. I invite you, sir, and thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So, shall I start, or anybody else is going to speak?
No, sir. You can just start at sir.
All right, all right. Now, I take this opportunity to thank the SRM Balliamai Engineering College Management, Honorable Principal, Vice Principal, Dean, correspondents, and especially Mr. Sendamil Chelvan and Dilip for the fantastic coordination organizing this event. I'm really delighted to come and meet you all. I take the opportunity to thank each one of you for coming and attending this session. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you a big lecture. Rather, I just came with what is actually the artificial intelligence on the real time so that you can connect and see how things are happening. Of course, I'm basically airlines guy and airport guy, so obviously I bring a lot of operational input related to the airports and the airline challenges, how the artificial intelligence can solve this or is solving this. Okay, this is what. Hope I am clearly audible, right? If I'm not audible, please raise your hand. Okay. Now, okay, that is one part. The second part is very important. Okay, now everyone says that artificial intelligence is slowly started mimicking the human. That means it is going to become a huge challenge for the human. The human potential will be replaced with artificial intelligence. So many, blogs and videos are available on this topic. Is it true? How much is true? What the AI can do? How far it can go? Okay. If you really see the artificial intelligence, when it started, it was a simple term. It's a framework. Some of set of intelligent apps built and as part of it. But today, the AI itself divided into three major portions. Okay, something like narrow AI, where the specific tasks are handed over to the artificial intelligence engines, and general AI, where the artificial intelligence engines are trying to mimic what the human is trying to do. The next, third one is a super AI. Okay, the artificial super intelligence that basically trying to outsmart the human. See, to that extent, the knowledge has grown, but at the same time, what is its applicability, how far it is useful, how the current trends are actually utilizing the artificial intelligence on the real term is what I am trying to share it with you. Okay. Before getting into the real-time examples, the use case, I just wanted to share it with you something. There are a lot of questions, whenever I try to address the AI conferences. No, everyone says artificial intelligence and machine learning, deep learning, and data science. These are huge jargons. Okay, of course, the technology world is definitely aware of, but in the management side, that most of them are trying to basically get their hand dirty by knowing everything in detail today to survive. But you, as a student, you also definitely need to know, at least at the high level, what is the difference between AI, ML, DL, and data science. Now, you know very well the Google car is one of the phenomenal invention on the modern world. Still under the experimentation, lot of things are happening for various reasons. It is not commercially launched. I'm sure as a management student, you must be following up what's happening there. But we will take that. There are two portions, right? One is that the machinery or hardware, you call it. Okay. The second one is the software. Okay. Which drives that car, helps the car to get driven. Okay. What is that software? That is what is your AI. The best example, classic example for AI is, but it is not one single program. It's collection of subsets of several other techniques and tools. AI is a very broad term. Under that, you have a subset called machine learning. Again, within machine learning, you got a deep learning. By using all these techniques and frameworks, you pull out the data for your real time and use your data science components to arrive the best learning that you got out of it to project your future strategies. These are interdependent. Okay. But I will tell you how much of work associated with each layer. I'm just trying to basically explain you. If you can't understand the full structure, what is shown in the deck, at least on the top or the right side, you can see how the AI is a, ML is a, and DL is positioned and DS is positioned. All three, how it's all linked to each other. From the visuals, you can easily understand. This is the simplest structure that I can draw for you. Okay. All the business model, either it can leverage, it depends on the maturity, ML structure, or the data and infrastructure is available more, then you can do deep learning, provided you should supply abundance of data, how much of data, etc. We will talk in the subsequent slides. Okay. And so that you get the most accurate responses and results, so that AI can drive or help you to take better decision. Whether it drives a car, or it helps the management to take a better decision, or it takes some of the decision on its own at some level. It's all depends on how much of data, how much of quality data is subjected, how much of the learning it basically subjected. Okay, that is why the structure is, slowly it is increasing. Starts from ML, from ML it goes to DL, okay, so that the deep learning happens using the neural network architectures, okay. I know some of these jargons definitely familiar to you. If it is not, don't worry. I will try to explain with some real-time example so that you can easily understand. I'm taking one classic example that you can see it in the airport. In the airport, whenever you book a ticket in one of the airline, it is not only the cost that you will look at. You will always look at whether that the aircraft is going to take me at the right time. The on-time performance is one of the important parameter that you will look at whenever you book your ticket. What is that on-time performance? How it is achieved at the airport? We otherwise call it as a turnaround management. Whenever the aircraft is landing, so within 30 minutes or 40 minutes, it depends on the size of the aircraft, that the aircraft has to basically fly back. It should be serviced. There are hundreds of employees will be working to help the aircraft to basically get ready for the next flying experience. Okay, that particular airport operation, how the AI engine is basically helping the management to operate. That is what now I am going to do. Whatever the basic structure, that the framework that you have seen, okay, I am trying to apply here. How a typical airport operation is basically managed. First of all, you need to know how many aircrafts are going to come, how many employees are needed to cater the services, how many employees are needed for customer support, how many employees are needed for maintenance. There are several departments within the airport, right? So you need to create the demand. It is directly proportional to the number of aircrafts that you are going to service. The second is what kind of forecast. I mean, probably you may know you on the basis of the certain capacity, you arrive some huge numbers, but the forecast which varies from season to season. So obviously, the seasonal forecast you need to generate. And again, on the day of operation, that activity will change. Okay. Again, if there is a flight got disturbed, okay, a flight got diverted and landed, the flight is not able to take off, even though passengers are onboarded. So the flight disruptions, how it is going to have, going to be managed. Okay, monitoring the entire operation, seeing the performance is adhered by the employees as well as the aircraft. Okay, in case there is a change that on the service standards, you have to do some certain refinement. Okay, and you need to arrive some service standards using those performance and refinement. So it's very important so that you can commit to the customer, okay, my flight will come at 9 o'clock, but I can take the flight to the next destination at 9:45. Within 45 minutes I can do that. There are several SOP and the SLAs are followed by the ground staff and the airports and the airlines in order to dispatch back the aircraft. This all, I'm talking about one aircraft. There are hundreds of thousands of aircraft in a day is getting operated in an airport. Then imagine the complexity associated in the airport operation. Okay. That is one of the reasons the on-time performance is very important for a businessman like you, because you may be student today, but tomorrow you are a businessman, okay, or an entrepreneur. So obviously, it is very important for you to know how these systems are functioning. Okay. But what is our study say, by deploying this kind of system, the on-time performance is significantly improved from 12 to 18%, depends on the adaptability of such a framework, which of course varies from airport to airport and airline to airline. It all depends on the maturity of the employees as well as the system dependency which they create. It all depends on them. This happens. I will share this deck with you guys. Don't try to read all the jargons available in the deck. Don't worry. I'm going to share with Dilip and Mr. Senthamil. They will share it with you. So I will try to basically give you some very live examples. Okay, as I told you, how typically the airport operations are getting performed. Okay, how the demand is important, why the forecast is more important, day of ops, what happens. Okay, all these things I have explained in the previous slide. Now, how we will fit this into the artificial intelligence world? Okay, how the AI can help me to run the airport efficiently. Okay, see, as I told you, there are several layers are available within AI, where you have a machine learning and deep learning and the data science. Okay, the whole framework, how it can support, I will tell you one by one with one example. The machine learning there are three portions. One is supervised learning, second is unsupervised learning, third one is semi-supervised learning. Now, supervised learning is nothing but the data which are readily available. You don't need to do any experimentation with those data. Those activities are coming under supervised learning. For example, I have fixed, demands and forecasts. I know how many aircrafts I am going to handle. Okay, how many aircrafts are going to land? How many aircrafts are going to fly? How many are going to stay back overnight for the maintenance? All this data comes in a very structured and a planned way. Those data, if you want me to read and they give you the recommendation to the management, I use a supervised learning. That's why using machine learning, I use the forecast and assets. What is assets in the airport? There are passenger trolley. It's one of the asset. The pullers, okay, the cargo shipment containers, okay, and the catering equipments. These are all the assets that they use. The movement of the assets. Suppose, for example, the passengers need to be from gate number so and so to some other side of the airport where the aircraft is waiting for the passengers to get boarded. So obviously the bus has to carry everyone and it has to go. Suppose suddenly as a manager, you wanted to know how many of them are on transit, how many of them are idle. So your machine learning using the supervised algorithm, you can basically track and get advised by the machines. The assets can be tracked and the machine learning can give you excellent support from you, because automatically all the movements of the vehicles are tracked within the airport. Unsupervised, for example, client priorities. Okay, every client got their own aspirations. Okay, there are some set of customers demand some specific requests within the aircraft or while they are waiting in the airport. All these things, is it possible to document in one level, and is it possible to manage and to meet everything? No, it may not be possible. But to understand and to predict what kind of client priorities can be, you can definitely deploy the unsupervised learning, the machine learning capability, if you enable. So obviously all the data related to the customer, the unlabeled data, can be acquired and it can give. Like for example, I will tell you, now you have restrooms in the restrooms in the airport. Whenever you wanted to know what kind of service standard is maintained in the restroom, they keep a kind of small device where you press the appropriate smiley. That depends on the experience that you press the smiley. That data will get transferred to the system, because it's a fixed data. So you know how many of the restroom users basically given their feedback, what is the standard is maintained in the restroom. But assume the same passenger is posting something in Facebook and in some other medium, Twitter, okay, about the services. You may not even know, but to get that unlabeled data, such kind of scenarios, you basically use unsupervised learning, get that unlabeled data, mix it with the labeled data, make the machine to help you understand what exactly the perception the client is carrying. Same the case with the employee. Okay, it is not that you give a 10 task, the employee performs it immediately. Basically, you give the rating system and you give them increment. No, it doesn't happen that way. There is a lot of empathize that you have to do. There are certain human factors that you need to consider. This all will come in labeled and unlabeled areas. Okay, so empathizing will not come in. The perception what the employee carrying and posting it in the websites like Glassdoor may not come in the label data. So you need to go on to fetch. ML does very efficiently. The supervised and unsupervised, the major difference is label, unlabeled data is getting handled by the machines. Okay, what is semi-supervised is as good as mixing of both label and unlabeled. Supervised label data, unsupervised unlabeled data, and semi-supervised is labeled, unlabeled data. That means you collect data from multiple sources using the machines and I mean systems. You arrive certain inputs from using the machines. Now, there are data that you process. Okay, at the same time, if you wanted to do more accurate details or information, you wanted to increase your dependency on the machines. Okay, so obviously you need to increase the maximum data load to the system so that the accuracy of input, what it gives back to the management will be more. Okay, so today we are now talking about gigabytes of data, terabytes of data, petabytes of data. But please remember, in the machine learning world, when the everything is getting tracked, yottabyte and zeobytes are the common thing in the machine world. Okay, that means in order to manage such a huge data population, you need to handle huge infrastructure as well. That is why the machine learning is left at the very high nascent level with the minimum data that you can arrive certain decision. But whereas the deep learning, where you can subject huge amount of inputs using some of the important neural network algorithm, you can arrange the better inputs suggested by the AI engines. Okay, that deep learning is basically divided into three portions. Okay, one is artificial neural networks. In simple, it handles numbers. Okay. Second is convolutional neural networks. They are all basically handles the image process. It does efficiently. The third one is a recurrent neural networks, okay, where the time series data, etc., is getting handled very efficiently. Okay. Now I will apply all these things with some real-time data. Okay. Climate. I know in Chennai airport what is my climate. But please remember, if there is a flight disruption in Hyderabad or Bangalore, most of the flights will get diverted to Chennai. So I must know what's happening in Chennai as well. There is a tsunami and its subsequent impact in Colombo airport. I must know that. For all, I may not have a structured data. I use the artificial neural network to assess the climate conditions so that it recommends what is needed for me. But please remember, all these things needs huge petabytes of data to come to the important conclusion. Then only the dependency on what it recommends that you can rely on. Otherwise, the accuracy level of AI engines recommendation will be something around 70 to 80%, or directly proportional to the amount of data that you have given and amount of learning that particular system has experienced. Okay, you have to push and push and push more and more data to make that engine to learn more and more so that it can start mimicking, trying to give you the right recommendations. Okay. Convolutional neural network, CNN, is applied in something like an airport where you have more than 5,000 to 10,000 employees to service the airport. Security is one of the major challenges in the airport because the infrastructure cost of the airports are very heavy. Each aircraft, something around 650 crores, 700 crores. Each one aircraft, if some damage happens, it's very challenging for that company to survive. To that extent, such damages can happen. That's one of the reasons security is more important. Now you are engaged in 5,000 employees. Assume you have 5,000 employees. How you know only that employee, the concerned employee, is coming in? So I will subject my employees whenever they press their attendance system. I take their video and cross check whether he is my employee or not. From face recognition, using the way his walking style, so many parameters I consider when he is coming in and moving around, whether he is my employee or not. So you can use CNN for a better secured access for your employee at least. Okay. Now this all started at the employee level. Now Now, most of the airports now started deploying even cross-checking the public movement within the airport to increase the security for every one of us. Okay, so CNN helps, and because it's too good in image processing. And the baggage fitment. What is baggage fitment? Like for example, there are baggages comes in different types and shapes, and so obviously fitting that in a cargo flight or in the passenger belly cargo is sometimes it's a big challenge. Okay, so when you basically use CNN knows what is the space available within the aircraft, whether it is a cargo aircraft or within or a passenger aircraft. It can assess the kind of quality, number of cargo shipments are pending. What can go first, second, third, and what can be fitted positively within that area allocated. All can be recommended by CNN easily. Now let me talk about the recurrent neural networks. RNN is basically good in time series data. The classic example is your Apple Siri or voice chats are very popular. You yourself know, the more you give the learning to your Siri device, it more accurately it will talk with you, right? So that's very important. That's one of the reasons deep learning is used in the popular voice chat engines. Okay. The second one is supposed you wanted to know the on-time performance of the particular airport. Okay, whether if I go basically can I land at the right time? Take for example Heathrow Airport in London. Most of the time, everybody knows around 90% of the time that the aircraft will not land on time because of the traffic. You take equivalently one more airport in India, our Delhi airport. The on-time performance of landing the aircraft in that particular airport at Delhi is something around 93%, whereas in Heathrow it is something around 81%. You can understand such differences matters a lot for you. Okay, I know it's a lot of customer inconvenience. Many of you will be flying to the US for your business travel or London or whatever it is. When you travel, then obviously you will know after 10 hours of journey or 16 hours of long journey, 12 hours of long journey, whatever it may be the number of hours, the moment you know, boss, that I'm going to land the aircraft at that time, no, see some traffic issues are there, it will take another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The more than pilot, it is you as a passenger will get irritated, right? Okay. So many of them basically now started choosing the airport to land as well. Now this is one thing is coming up very seriously. You go to Dallas, there are 3 airports. Okay, so depends on the on-time performance of the particular airport. I go on the land at that particular airport instead of going to the conventional airport, Dallas airport. Okay, same the case is happening in the Noida, Delhi. There is one more airport is also coming in, right? So now why it's all happening mainly because the on-time performance matters for the airport as well, not only for the airline and the aircraft. This all can be assessed very clearly by the recurrent neural networks. Okay, these are live cases I am talking. See, I am not talking theory. Okay. I have given you some amount of example. Please remember, this is a huge study. It's a very huge study. It's very important you understand as a management guy how to utilize this kind of technology efficiently. See, please remember, you no need to go and learn all those things, but you should have the awareness of what is artificial intelligence is all about. What is that supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised ML algorithms can do for me? What ANN can do, RNN can do, or CNN can do, or whether RNN and CNN can complement together for me to do something so that I do the deep learning to arrive the most accurate results. Okay, so those kind of decision as a management guy you can take. I know it's a big topic. If you are not familiar with the airport operations, but still 99% of you must have definitely traveled once as a student in the aircraft. So obviously it's not a big royal science to fit this kind of case studies using the artificial intelligence, how you can basically improve the system. Please remember, we are trying to outsource whatever the human activities to the machines. So obviously, you have to feed the machines on regular basis at the maximum level so that you get the accurate responses from the machines. If you supply minimum data, then the probability of getting the accurate responses are minimum only. The maximum data that you supply, the machine will learn and learn and learn and try to give you the best possible near accurate responses. Okay, of course, as a human, you got your consciousness and your experience will make to understand what your system has recommended is right or wrong. At least that brilliance the human got. Okay. And of course, I touched base some of the examples related to machine learning and deep learning. I will tell you about data science. Data science again takes the data from multiple algorithms and tools and techniques like ML and DL. But this is a separate huge area where you can understand and array what is the service standards that I can commit to the passengers. Now, for example, I can make a turnaround of aircraft as soon as it is landing to before it is taking off. Within 45 minutes, I will close the services whatever is needed, which includes boarding the passengers, okay, and cleaning the aircrafts, then boarding the passengers, loading the catering items, and loading the cargo which has to go along with the passenger belly cargo, and fuel, all this stuff, everything has to go in sequential as well as parallel. All has to be done within 30 minutes or 45 minutes of service standards. Now, for example, now you are operating as an airport manager in a huge metro airport, where the traffic congestion is more. Assume that you are an airport manager in a non-metro area where only some 3 or 4 flights are coming. There are differences in service standards between that metro airport and a non-metro airport just because of the environmental factors. So, what kind of environment service standards that I need to set across all the airports? Assume the American Airlines, where I served in the past, okay? Of course, I served in American Airlines and United Airlines and Southeast Airlines in the US region. They are at least serving around the 450 airports in a single day. Then what kind of service standards that I need to manage country-wise, airport-wise, with the airports which are within the country-wise, what kind of service standards I have to arrive? How you will arrive all this information? You need the data science techniques, because you will be subjecting all the aircrafts which got landed and taken off from the individual airports, from all the 450 airports, multiplied with the 365 days, multiplied with the last 10 years, then you will get, I will obviously get a zettabyte of data, not only the takeoff and landing time, but also the service standards established by your own employees and number of employees served. All this kind of stuff has to basically get managed using data science to help you create or rather curate a new story. What should be your ideal service standards for your airline at the corporate level? Okay, now you are flying for 450 countries, 450 airports you are serving across the globe, and there are several configuration, some 90 seaters to 350 seaters that you are handling. What is the kind of seat occupancy you can expect, country-wise, aircraft-wise? All these things are possible only with the data science help. In the past, people used to do it with Excel sheet, right? Okay, but today the data science techniques are helping to achieve more accurate results and predictions, because data science largely deals about the statistics and the probabilities and using linear algebra extensively. So obviously you will get the best possible responses. Okay, this is one airport operation case study that I wanted to bring it to you, because these are live case studies where, instead of, now we are not talking about a Google which never got commissioned so far, but whereas the AI which deployed in the multiple airports is a classic example for you to understand how the AI can make the world different. Please remember, from all these set of activities, suppose as an airport manager, as a leader of that airport, How can you do all these things only with the Excel sheet or some ERPs? It is just not possible. You need a lot of machines to support you to take an efficient, effective decision. That is why we are trying to leverage artificial intelligence. Okay, now, hey boss, you are bringing for running the entire operation at every level. This artificial intelligence is helping me to take decision. Then, will my employment will exist at all? Needless to worry. It's a what do you say? It's a idiotic thinking. Many of them are thinking, no, AI will replace human and all. No, it cannot. It cannot. Okay. But in some areas, yes, it can. Okay. Some 10 years back, the validation of insurance document got replaced by machine. 10 years back. That doesn't mean that some 30,000, 40,000 people lost their job. They all got reskilled and they went ahead and taken a new assignment. Okay, so now what is in it for me as a management guy? Okay, how I will survive in the AI world? Please remember, whatever I spoke in the previous AI architecture, it's all talking about data, mathematical, statistic, probability, linear algebra, image analysis, data analysis, number crunching, all this stuff I spoke. But I never spoke anything about how to empathize with your colleagues as a leader, how ethical practices are adhered in the organization, how the empowerment can be given to your colleagues as well as your subordinates. Your AI engine cannot do. So if you are master in this as a leader, you are a business guys, right? So obviously in the administration world, still it matters. Please remember, even today, you take such a decision, even today, very extensively. You don't depend on your machines. Okay, so your job is intact. But there are some skills are needed. We will talk about it. Yes, the understanding ground realities. Machines can recommend certain service standards. Will it be implemented? 100%? No. Certain ground realities you have to face. Okay, those things only as a leader you can take a decision. Now, in order to make yourself as a better leader, it is not that one industry skill is sufficient. Even if you work in one particular industry, you need to be very highly experienced in order to take certain judgment on the basis of past data. All have you subjected to the engine, made the deep learning happen with the system so that it can recommend what you are supposed to take as a judgment? No, it depends on how much data you fed. What is the accuracy factor that you can expect out of it? It's all needs a huge investment. Please remember, you can't just like that do it. Huge infrastructures are needed to make a deep learning successful. But as a human, you got the superior brain where you get the multi-industry judgments. You work with the colleagues. Suddenly, okay, now my AI engine too good in taking decision in how to run the airport. It doesn't mean it can connect with DGCA or CAA or FAA kind of agencies to have a diplomatic conversation. No, it cannot. It has to be done by you. Okay, and sensitivity of the topic. Okay, there is some in the entrance of the airport. There is some somebody is staging dharna. Okay, now what I need to do? You will not go and ask your AI engine. It doesn't make sense, right? It can only tell yes, there are certain delays are going to happen. Your passengers are not going to enter. Okay, it is going to be a flight disruption, delayed starting of the aircraft. That's what it can give. But the sensitivity you can assess and you can take decision on what can be altered. You can reschedule the aircraft timing so that becomes the on-time performance for you. Okay, collaboration. Okay, you are the leader, businessman, manager, entrepreneur, airport manager, or operation manager, or HR leader, or a marketing manager. Collaboration matters a lot. The engine cannot collaborate at this juncture because now we are talking about a focused AI. But never allowed, okay, my AI engine will talk to marketing agencies and travel booking agencies AI engine, and both of them will have a handshake, they will exchange better discounts. Forget, it will take its time. It will take its own time. Of course, there are political and non-political environments has to be handled by you. Okay, you are the one is the best judge on the diplomacy in the AI world. Okay, because the machine cannot understand what is diplomacy. Okay, it will take a lot of time, of course. It will do, but you have to subject terabytes, not terabytes, petabytes of data. Okay, and the experimentation can be done a lot by you. Okay, the human layer got abundance of creative power. Okay, that can happen only with the human, but to make the machine to think, you need to supply data. That means you can still judge before even machine thinks, right? That's a reason sometimes some of the popular chess players beaten the computers in the past, because that time that was not ready, because that much of data was not there with the machine, so it was not able to beat the chess champions. Okay, and layer design, you are the best on. So don't worry that the AI world will replace you, but please remember you have to reskill yourself. Otherwise, it is going to be a very big challenge for the management graduates. Okay, this is the HBR report. Okay, Harvard Business Review report. What kind of skills are needed for not for the future, next 5 years? Okay, we know only next 5 years. We don't know after 3 years what will be our condition. So that time we will take a decision what kind of skill is needed. Whether the machines are outsmart the human or not, we will know. We will have better case studies with us. So needless story. But for surviving for next 5 years, what we should have? These are all the critical skills. The managers, they feel it is very important, understanding digital technology, need to have creative thinking, all this kind of stuff. But you know what, at the end of the day, people told it is at the end of the day, social networking, people development and coaching and collaboration matters. Today you are listening Bhaskar because of the collaboration Mr. Sendamai Chelvan and Dilip they have established in some medium. When I was meeting Mr. Sendamai Chelvan in CIA conference, okay, so that collaboration brought Bhaskar here, and that collaboration brought even for Bhaskar to have an advantage of talking to you. It's a great opportunity for me to talk to you. Okay, see, these are all the skills. Basically, is expected. Hope that you are seeing this slide here. This the people skill is now taken away and recolored, mainly because this particular skill, it is purely still depend on human only. So as a leader, as a manager, it is very important for you to basically learn those skills. Anyway, I'm going to share. Okay, we spoke a specific set of case related to airport operations and what kind of skills are needed. And of course, I will conclude this, but please remember, this is the hard reality. If you really see, when we are talking about the sales funnel, okay, your Alexa and Siri is understanding, funnel cakes. Okay, so that means the Alexa has to undergo lot of deep learning. It has to be, what is the difference between sales funnel and a funnel cake? It has to know. For that, you need a lot of data, but human can understand instantaneously. That level of mimicking will take time for deep learning. At the same time, how even the AI is impacting the personal life is what the second cartoon says. Okay, this guy is leveraging the artificial neural network to predict whether she is going to say yes or no for his future. So this is the way things are moving. Please remember, I will give you some example like Ola and Uber and all. Today the pricing engines are decided not by the managers but by the AI engines. It's a live classic examples on how the price predictions are done by engines. Okay, AI engines. That's all I have. Uh, I know it's a very big topic. I would like to hear from you. If you have any questions, clarifications, please ask me. Because I'm told this is a 1 hour session, so that's the reason I just made it very crisp and as simple as possible. If you want a separate session on each area will take 1 day. Okay, I can talk. ML 1 day, 2 days, DL 2 days, 3 days. It will take. Wait, it will not get end also. Of course, you just grab the message and then try to build your capability. That's all I have. Now over to you, team. If any questions, feel free to ask me. Otherwise, over to Mr. Sendamil Chelvan and Dilip.
Thank you for your valuable, wonderful presentation, sir. As per your convenience date, we will arrange a separate date for offline lecture, sir. Thank you for your.
Sure.
Very
And,
soon we will invite, sir. Thank you, sir.
and thanks for your valuable session, sir. And it was like we were into the airways industries. So the way you tells about like how when the people walks, the CNN walks and all, that gives us like a visualize when you tells about all those things. And thanks for giving a valuable session, sir.
Thank you,
Guys,
Dilip.
if you have any questions, you can ask to the sir.
எல்லாம் டயர்டா இருக்கிறானுங்க ரூபியா
Yes, sir.
தேங்க்ஸ்
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. It gave much information about AL, DL, ML, and data science. We took major objectives and functions from your knowledgeable presentation, sir. Once again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time from your busy schedule to be the guest speaker at your lecture. At our lecture, your presence and whiteboard helped to magnify our cause in the best possible way. Our lecture was a huge success, all thanks to your enlightened words that inspired so many students out there. I would extend sincere thanks to Dr. Sendamal Selvan, the head of the department, and Mr. Dilip Kumar, assistant professor, for and finally, I thank my fellow students to make this event peacefully. Thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone.
Thank
ஓகே
you, sir.
தேங்க்யூ
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச்
Thank you, sir.